Hi Flosstube, I'm Pam. Welcome to my channel, Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. Today is Friday, February 25th, and this is Flosstube number 60. If you are new to my channel, welcome. This is a channel about cross stitch where I talk about what I've been stitching, what I've purchased, what's going on in my store, which is called Stitch New England. If you're finding me for the first time, I opened a store, a needlework store in Massachusetts, which I always forget to even say what the name is. It's Stitch New England. And if you're returning, thanks for coming back. Today is a snow day, or it's a sleet day. It's a wintry mess day. So I am filming from home instead of the store. I did not open the store today. I also talk about life updates and bird updates, and I can see my bird feeder while I'm filming. So if I'm looking off to the side, that's what I'm looking at. It is full of birds today because of the wintry mess. What are we gonna talk about today? I have some stitching to show. I have no haul. And then we're going to talk about market pre-orders. And then I have some other shop updates to chat about. First, what are we going to say first? Life updates. It's snowy out. That's all I got going on. And yeah, I'm mostly just getting ready to go to the Nashville needlework market. If you are, I think most everyone knows what market is, but if you are just getting into cross stitch or you got into cross stitch after March of 2020, you may not have heard of market. And it's a trade show that happens in just outside of Nashville, where retailers such as myself go and we get to purchase from the wholesalers directly, like face to face. I'm gonna get to chit chat with the designers. I'm so excited about that. And I'm gonna come home with stuff. But you can also make pre-orders, which is the bulk of what we're gonna talk about later. I'm gonna save all the shop stuff for later. Let's jump into stitching. What have I been stitching on? First, I forgot to show this last week. I've got like 4 things to show today. I'm gonna knock my coffee over. Okay. I am stitching Christie's Corners Temperature Library 2 this year. This is my 3rd year doing a temperature chart, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The premise is that you stitch a book. The bookcase has 12 shelves. Each shelf is a month, and each book is a day. And you stitch your book depending on the temperature of the day. I am using the same temperature key that I used on Stitchin' Mommy's temperature tree that I did last year. And here is where we are at. So since you have seen it last, I've gotten, I think, these books in here. This is not one big book, it's 2 books, but they're the same color. One is satin stitched, which I am not very good at, and one is cross stitched, just to give them a little bit of like texture difference so you can tell them apart. I got the doodads. There's 2 doodads or knickknacks on every shelf every month. I think there's 2. I don't have the chart in front of me. So I got the heart in and the rose, and I did a little color changing on the rose because I did not have the called for colors. And that's where we're at. So there's only a few left. I stitch my books every Sunday. I sit down and I catch up on the week. So today's the 25th. Monday is the 28th. I might wait till Monday to stitch. That way February is done. Shoot! That means I gotta hurry up and get the March shelf done because Tuesday is March. Oh, Pam, you're like so behind. Stitching it on 16 count white Aida, and the bookshelf is Weeks Dye Works Pelican Gray is what I chose to do it in. So that's where I am with that. I like that the knickknacks are like month appropriate, that in January there was a clock, and in February there was like a heart and a rose. I assume I didn't even check. I assume there's like St. Patrick's Day stuff for March. You can get, and I have it, there's like an expansion pack where there's different knickknacks, so you can swap them out. It's just I've been too lazy to think about swapping them out. Although I might when I get down to May, because there's like a vase. I don't know what those are in May, but they don't make sense to me. So maybe I'll do some swapping in May. But March has a pot of gold and a unicorn. That makes sense. And it has a little spool of thread down the end, which also makes sense because Nashville Needlework Market happens in March and I'm going to that. So that makes sense. What else? What else have I've got a whole pile. I'm just trying to remember the order I have done things in. So then I was working on, each month I am doing 2 focus projects and each focus project gets 10 days. Except I haven't been super good about tracking focus project number 2. Because I don't know. So I don't know that it'll get the whole 10 days because I'm not sure honestly how many days I've done on it so far. But at the end of the month, I'll call it done. I mean, the project won't be done, but I'll call it done and move on to my March projects. Speaking of February's focus projects, the first one of the month was the Pixels That Made Us, and it got me a finish on it. And on Wednesday, I took it over to the framer. So I don't think I'll have it back next week, but the week after, I should have it back. I cannot wait to show you. I'm so excited. Okay, anyway, focus project number 2 this month is Night Walk Down by the Blue Flower. It says, night walk down the sky with the moon in her hand. So in love with this. I am stitching mine on 32 count vintage tarnished silver by, I almost had a situation there, by, who the heck is it by? Lakeside Linens. And I got some stuff done. So it's a wrinkle mess. Here's where it's at. I think I said to you last week that my goal is to try to get this whole area done. But when I picked it up last week, I realized that I had never filled in this leaf. I had not even stitched that flower. So I went back and I did that, finished that side over there before coming back and doing this side. So over here, I gotta prop this up here. All of this is new. I love this flower. So in love with that flower. It might be my favorite flower of the bunch. I really like that one too. And I got an owl. Look at that owl. It's so cute. It's so cute. I love that owl. That was a fun stitch. And then all down here, I have done. There's something about those leaves before they're filled in that I really like. So that bottom leaf is the bottom of the pattern, I think. I mean, there's a border, but I don't think there's anything. Yeah. So we're getting close. There's gonna be so much border to do though. I should be doing a length of thread in the border before I work on the rest of the project so that I don't have a ton of border at the end. But I don't know, I'm having such a good time with it. So I'll stitch on it tonight and tomorrow and Sunday. So it has 4 days left. 25, 26, 27. Yeah. So it has 4 days of stitching left and I should be able to get stitching done on it all of those days. Maybe not Saturday. Saturday is, my husband and I usually have a TV date night. So we don't spend our evenings together all week because we like to do different things at night. He likes to go down into our finished basement and watch TV, and I like to stay up in our living room and stitch, and listen to podcasts and watch Flosstube. So Saturday evenings is sort of when we connect and watch TV together. So it depends on whether I can get stitching done between like when I come home from the store and we sit down and watch TV together. So, and I can't stitch and watch TV with him because he likes the lights off. We compromise. I get one little table lamp on because here's an interesting fact. It's not, maybe not interesting. Here is a fact about me. I don't like to sit in the dark and watch TV. And I don't like to eat in the dark. So if we're downstairs and we're date nighting and we're like having a little snack while we're watching TV, I need to have a little light on. I don't understand like sitting in the dark and watching TV. The TV is so bright when you're completely in the dark. He likes to sit in the complete dark though. So we're never gonna get all the lights on so I can stitch while we watch TV. But that's fine because we only do it once a week and I get to stitch all the other nights. And he gets to watch TV in the dark all the other nights. Then what have I worked on? Oh, and then it was Wednesday. On Wednesday evenings, we have a drop-in and sit and stitch situation at the store from 5 to 8. And I have a shop project that I work on. And my last shop project was Next Door by Heartstring Samplery. And I think I said that I would totally have it FFO'd. It's not. And I'm not going to have it FFO'd for next week because on Sunday, I'll be driving the By the Bay trunk show back up to Donna Bayless of By the Bay. So yeah. And then the Sunday after that, I'll be driving home from Nashville. So I'm thinking we might not see that as an FFO for like a month. I don't know what I was thinking when I was all like, it's going to be done next week. Somebody, and you may have, I did not get to read all the comments from the last video, but somebody may have said, Pam, you know you're not going to have that FFO'd, and you would have been right. I maybe needed more of those. Like somebody slapped me with some reality. Okay. Anyway, the current shop project is A Big Hearted Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. And I'm going to have it finished as a drum. I'm not going to finish it myself because I don't have time in my life to figure that out. So I will have somebody professionally finish it for me. Brain stopped. Okay. This is my restart button. I am stitching it on 32 count Dirty Teacup by Needle and Flax. And I have a little bit of progress since the last time you saw it. It's so cute. The colors are so fun. I'm doing all the called for overdyes, which I think are mostly Classic Colorworks and a little bit of Weeks. So last time you saw, I think I just had a little bit of fence and the pink of the tree. So this is all finished. It's so cute. And then I got a whole house done. And here's what I'm loving about this house. The house, oh my gosh, is that a mistake? No. You know that we live in the land of good enough. My stitches over here are bad. I don't know what I was doing, but they're bad. And you could visibly see that they're bad. But here's the thing. I'm not taking it out and restitching it. But anyway, the main house color is all one color. So it's light down here and dark up there. And it just had to do with how the variation in the skein worked out. And I love it. I like that the house isn't stripy and that it made it look like, you know how sometimes houses have one color on the first level and another color on the second level? I feel like that is what's going on here. So love that. And then I started on the second house. It's so cute. What I'm loving about doing it at the shop, it's like the perfect shop project for me because I can get a little piece done and it's like a little finish every Wednesday. So yeah, really enjoying that. And then lastly, on the fourth Thursday of every night, on the fourth Thursday of every month, I am hosting a Fancy Folk Zoom Stitch Together. And so last night was our second time Zooming and there were a lot of us. I think there were like 39 on last night. So that being said, I am going to close the group. So my apologies if you had wanted to get on the list and you hadn't had a chance yet, but I'm going to be taking the link down. It's possible that the numbers will eventually come down. You know, things change over the months. So if it gets down to a low level, I'll reopen it back up. So my apologies if you missed out. But it means that once a month, my memorabilia comes out to play. And I am stitching Princess Eliana. She's stunning. And I'm currently working in like this area right here, because when you see it, it's gonna look like a whole lot of nothing, but like green blob. I am stitching mine on 32 count Illusion by Silk Weaver. And here is where she is. So last night I got all of this done, like this section right here is what I stitched. And then I worked a little bit down here because one of the colors up here is also down here. And once you have a color out and it's on your needle, you just have to keep going. So at the rate I'm going, this is gonna be like a 5-year project, but that's okay. It will have its focus month. I don't know when. It's probably towards the end of the year. So it'll come out once a month for the fancy folk Zoom, and then it will also have its 10-day focus. When I made my focus project list, I went in order of like oldest. Sorry, holy moly, I think I just swallowed a bug, except there aren't any bugs in my house. So, I mean, there probably are bugs in my house because there's always bugs in a house. There's gotta be a spider lurking here somewhere. You know there is. I hate spiders. I don't mind the little spindly ones, but when it's got meat on it, you know, oh gosh, I don't want to talk about spiders. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, I swallowed a bug, but I didn't really swallow a bug. Oh, focus project. When I was making my focus project list, I listed them in order of like oldest to newest. So because this got started in November of 2021, it's close to the end of the year for 2022. If that makes sense. I hope it does. Okay, let's put it back in its project bag. And that's it. That was my stitching this week. Yeah. What am I gonna work on upcoming? So it's gonna be the same. I'm gonna be working on Night Walk Down. My temperature chart will get worked on Sunday. Big Hearted Tiny Town will get worked on Wednesday. And that might be it. And then I'm leaving for Nashville on Thursday. And I don't plan on taking any stitching. It's just, I'm being real, like I'm not stitching when I'm at market. So I'm not gonna take anything. Okay, that brings us to the bird update. I don't always remember to talk about my birds that live outside. They're kind of like pets though that I have no control over. I do love them. And you know that I want a bird to eat out of my hand like so bad. Except I don't have the motivation. Maybe the oomph, the drive, the ability to get up. I'm not good with keeping a schedule, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I think in order to train your wild birds to eat out of your hand and to like get used to you, you have to be consistent, and I'm just not. But every now and then I think, ooh, if I just sit out there with bird food near me, they'll come and they'll visit because they'll think I'm a statue and they won't know any better. It hasn't worked yet. But I am thinking once the weather gets to be so that it's like above 25 degrees every morning, I might try to make a schedule in which I sit out. If I get up early enough, I could sit out there every morning. And hopefully they would learn that I'm their friend. Anyway, I was sitting out there on Monday. It was nice here in Rhode Island on Monday. And I was sitting out there and I was holding, I'm thinking this is like a step-by-step process. I figured if I started with like a plate, like they don't have to sit in my hand. If we just start with a plate that has like their favorite stuff on it, and I sit there really still, maybe they will come and eat out of the plate. So I was sitting out there with a plate, and the point of the story is that they are like like right now it's a wintry mess outside, but I spent like 45 minutes out there and they were singing their spring songs, and it was nice. I wish that you could have all been out there with me. They were fluttering everywhere, and there were, and I saw some birds that I have not seen since the fall. The grackles are back. They aren't back at my feeder, but they were back up in the treetops, and there were woodpeckers everywhere, and the little goldfinches, and it's kind of a weird like blended mix. So like juncos we only get in the winter, so the juncos are still here, but then the grackles are here too. So there were robins. It was a lovely 45 minutes. I wish I could I'm going to try to do it every day, but not when it looks like this outside. I don't want to get bundled up and sit out in the cold and wet weather. But anyway, things are changing at the feeder is also the point of this. I think that I'm going to start seeing within the next month like a swap over between my winter and summer birds. It's very exciting. What else do I want to say? I think that was it for birds. Okay, that brings us to what else do I want to talk about? We talked about that the Fancy Folk Zoom is closed. So shop information. The By the Bay trunk show leaves on Sunday, which means Saturday, tomorrow. February 26th is the last day you can see it at the shop or shop online. And the last day if you buy a By the Bay pattern that you will get entered into the trunk show. Get entered into the raffle. There's a raffle if you buy a chart from By the Bay during the trunk show. You get entered in the raffle. There's 4 seasonal patterns in the raffle and a frame that they all fit in that was hand painted by Donna Bayless. So tomorrow is the last day for that. And then I'm driving it back up to Maine. And then after that, the next trunk show is going to be Rosewood Manor. And it's going to get shipped to me shortly after market. So I should have it, hopefully, fingers crossed, by like mid-March. And, I'll let you know when it's at the store. I'm super excited about that one. Not that I'm always super excited about them all. And then, what else? Oh, and there's a berry class. I put the berry class, a berry finishing class. So if you are local and you've stitched, they kind of look like a berry. That's not working. When you stitch a berry, it looks like this. Like the stitched piece has a shape like this. And then you turn it into a 3-dimensional, like little strawberry. Anyway, we're having a berry finishing class at the store on Saturday, March 12th. So from 10:30 to 12:30. So if you're interested in signing up for that, it is up on the website in the events section. Also, the March Floss and Friends Stitch Together is up there. There's only going to be one in March because the first Saturday in March, I'm in Nashville. I have coverage for the shop, but I don't think they would be able to handle stitching group. and covering the shop. So there's only one in March, and that is up for registration on the event page as well. Okay, that brings us to the market pre-orders. So I currently have a section on the website that says, you know, market 2022 pre-orders, where you can pre-order the market releases with me. You can do that through this Sunday, February 27th. After that, I'm actually going to I haven't decided, I got to figure out the website. I'm either going to take them down because I don't want anybody prepaying for market pre-orders after that date with me. Or I'm going to mark them as out of stock. So it's still being, you're not going to be able to order them. After that, you can still place a pre-order with me, but you're going to have to email it to me and we can have a conversation about it. And then, because I have not been having you pay for shipping, the invoices for shipping and any pre-orders that I have not taken payment for, invoices for those things will start going out as early as Saturday, March. Hold on, I gotta count in my head. If Tuesday is the 1st and the 2nd and 3rd, Saturday, March 5th. I wish I had a calendar in front of me. Whatever the Saturday is that market is happening, the invoices will start going out as early as Saturday night. They could go through. You might not get your invoice Saturday night though. We're gonna start them. I don't know if we're gonna get them done. So it just depends. You might get your invoice Saturday night. I gotta take this back a step. Okay. If you have pre-ordered from me and you're getting your items shipped, you will get an invoice for the shipping. If you have pre-ordered from me an item that wasn't something that you could prepay for, you're gonna get an invoice from me. And those are gonna start going out as early as Saturday, March 5th, and possibly through into the week that we get back. Just depends on how fast I can get everything done. If you are getting your items shipped and you don't get an invoice from me, it may be because I assumed that you were a pickup. Reach out to me. Let me know that I messed up and that you need to get an invoice for the shipping. Because all the orders are in my system as pickups. When I send out the invoice, I'm going to click the little thing on my back end that says your pickup is ready. So if you're an actual pickup at the store and I click ready, it's because it's ready. You'll be able to pick it up when the store is open. If you are getting your items shipped and I say it's ready and you have not received, it will mean I have mailed out your invoice for shipping. If you get that email that says you're ready to be picked up but you have not received an invoice, get a hold of me, okay? And then, sorry, there's so much information here. What else do I want to say? Also, starting Saturday, March 5th, I think it's the 5th, but if it's the 6th, you know what I'm talking about. Anything that we buy at market that wasn't a pre-order, but that we're buying extra for the shop, hopefully as early as Saturday evening, is going to start getting loaded on the website as something that you can buy that's not a pre-order. So we will have a separate section on the shopping page of the website that'll say Market 2022, where all the things that we're buying for Market are going to get loaded there. So keep an eye out starting Saturday night. Those things are going to end up there. Also, I'm going to have extended shop hours on the Wednesday the shop will be open the Tuesday after market. So Tuesday, March, Oh my gosh, I'm so bad with dates. You'd think I would have written this down. Aftermarket, it's my normal shop hours, my normal days. Except Wednesday, I'm going to be open longer. So normally I don't open until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. On that Wednesday, I'm going to be open 10 to 8. And yeah, that's what I have to say about that. That is all my information. If I was not clear and it's something that really requires, like if you have an actual question, don't leave the question in the comments because I'm so busy right now that I'm not having a chance to read all the comments and I don't want to miss something important. So if you have a question for me that involves the store, market, anything like that, if you have a market pre-order, email me at the shop email, stitchnewengland@gmail.com. Don't email my Stitching in the Land of Good Enough email because I do not always check it and I don't have that one linked to my phone, so I don't get a notification that I have an email waiting for me. So if you just want to chat about anything else, you can put it in the comments or you can email me at stitchinginthelandofgoodenough@gmail.com. But if you have a market question, if you have a shop question, email me at stitchnewengland.com. They're both down in the description box. Okay, I think that is all for me today. I am going to sit down for the next hour or so, catch up on a little Flosstube, get some stitching in while I make my child go outside and shovel. Mm-hmm. That's the wonderful thing about having a teenager, really, in general. They do the shoveling. In my house, sorry, now we're getting into stories. I currently have 2 children still living in my house, and they're both pretty good shovelers. One is 21 and one is 18, and I feel blessed. I still am in charge of shoveling our back walkway so the dogs can get out to their outdoor kennel, and so that I can get to my bird feeder, so I can keep them well stocked on a wintry day. Because let me tell you, when there is snow, they will eat those feeders clean, and then I have to do a refill. So, and the idea that they could be hungry and they can't get at their food because there's snow on the ground, like, hurts my heart, and I have to refill the feed. So I love those little birds. Someday one will sit in my hand and it will eat the food and my life will be complete. They're so cute. There's a little Junco up there now. Juncos always sound like, the noise they make sounds like Morse code to me, like a little beep beep. They're so cute. I love birds. Okay, anyway, I will see you all. I am going to make one last Flosstube on Wednesday for sure. I want to do one more touch base before the hub and I get in the car and do a road trip. I'm so excited for our road trip. Sorry, I guess I'm not quite done chatting yet. We've driven back and forth to Florida several times. We're very familiar with, like, 95. All the way up to Maine, all the way down to Florida. We've traveled it. But we've never traveled west. We drove to Greenville, South Carolina once. 22 years ago. Holy moly. But even then, that was mostly down 95 till you started heading west. So we're going to break off heading west much sooner this time and travel in areas we've never been. And I'm just so excited about that. It's going to be a 2-day drive for us. Because, we're in our 40s now. In our 20s, we probably could have done it straight through. We've done Florida straight through twice. Yeah. Once in our 20s and once in our 30s. But in our 40s, I'm thinking our days of driving more than 10 hours a day are over. You might be able to stretch us to 12. Anyway, I'm so excited. I don't know. I love a road trip with the husband. Anyway, so I will see you next Wednesday. In the meantime, I hope you all are safe and healthy and happy and that you get lots of stitching in. if that's what you want to do. I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.